I wrote an article following this one case called Deporting Private Ryan. And in it, for those of you who are interested, were the citations up until that date of the cases that have come before the courts discussing this very issue. Since then, 2 Veterans Days have passed, and on both days I found myself representing a veteran, again in removal proceedings. There is something fundamentally wrong with this, at least I think there is, because when somebody puts on an American uniform and goes overseas, he is, to my mind, an American national. For instance, he is subject to our status of forces agreements, meaning that when he goes overseas, he's protected under American law as if he's an American. Under the rules of war, or the law of war, you must wear a uniform if you're to be a combatant. Well, they do wear a uniform. They wear an American uniform. My clients have not worn Liberian uniforms, or Italian uniforms, or Argentine uniforms, or Uruguay uniforms. They wear an American uniform. If they are captured during war, they would be treated as Americans. And not only that, but Article 1 of the Code of Conduct, the very first paragraph is, if captured, I will always remember that I am an American. You are not supposed to, as a prisoner of war, get benefits above or beyond what your fellow prisoners of war get. If you are to be returned, you're to be returned to the United States. You're not to be returned to another country where the enemy concludes that you are a citizen of. Moreover, aliens, that is, immigrants, when they come back into the United States, are subject to inspection. None of these soldiers, when they're wearing American uniforms, are subject to inspection. They return with the rest of the troops. So, how is it when they're wearing a uniform, they're not treated as if they're an American national? But when they take that uniform off, they now can be stripped of their claim to American nationality and be returned to the country of their birth, which may be of little other consequence to them other than it being the country of their birth. There is a good argument, an argument that I am now making in federal district court, along with the Pennsylvania Immigration Resource Center, on behalf of an individual who was from Liberia, who served in the Middle East and in Kosovo, and is now being subject to deportation. To me, this is just an outrage that a person who can, he was, I should add, decorated for his service. How could we decorate someone for their service and then at the conclusion of that service treat them so shabbily as we are now doing? While an argument can be made that these are nationals of the United States, that is, individuals who owe a permanent allegiance to the United States, the courts tend to read the Nationality Act with great deference to the opinions of the Attorney General. And the Attorney General treats immigration issues the way a PUC treats tariffs on a telephone, for a telephone rate increase. It's technical, it's very narrow-minded, and without seeing the overall impact of their decision-making. They stick to the statute and little else because there's little else to guide them, I suppose, or that's just the way that they do things. But this is an issue that to me stands out and should be addressed more globally than we can get with one court or another. I am hoping that when you hear this and you see this tape that you'll consider contacting your congressman, as I have done, and your senators, as I have done, and see what they say about it. I can tell you what they told me. I've met with numerous senators and numerous congressmen on this very issue. To a person, when I go and see them, they're shocked. I can't believe this is being done. What an outrage. We have to do something about this. And then I leave hopeful that there in fact will be a change. So far, in 3 years, there's been no change. And nothing's been done that I see that moving Congress to actually do something about an issue that they privately will tell you is fundamentally wrong. I don't know why that is. All I know is that it is. And that if something is going to be done about it, greater public awareness must be made of this issue, and people must take responsibility even for people who don't vote, but who have served us. It is an irony that these same individuals who have served us overseas, when they come back home, are treated as veterans. And when they're deported, they don't lose that status. Therefore, my clients who have been deported to Italy and Uruguay and other places, they get to be buried in a national cemetery, a veterans cemetery. And as when my father died, they will get an American flag to be draped over their coffin. And as in his case, it will be folded up in the triangle that so many veterans are familiar with. And it will be handed to his loved ones with these words: "From the President of the United States, on behalf of a grateful nation, we give you this flag for your deceased's service in X Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines." What hypocrisy if we don't correct this issue. And so we are asking for you and anyone you can get interested in this issue to just do the simple act of writing a letter or calling your congressman and telling him about it. Thank you.